On Wednesday, during the Supreme Court hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, an argument erupted after Republican Senator John Cornyn complained that Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin is spending too much time rebutting Republican criticisms during the questioning. Take a look at the clip from C-SPAN.
Now the President of the United States has chosen you to serve on the highest court of the land. America is ready for this Supreme Court glass ceiling to finally shatter. And you, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, are the person to do it. Senator Grassley.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think you've, in the main, provided both sides an opportunity to be heard and ask their questions. But unfortunately, I noticed that after every series of questioning on this side of the aisle, you choose to editorialize and contradict the points being made by this side of the aisle. I don't know whether we will have an equal opportunity to editorialize about the advocacy that you and your colleagues, the points that you're trying to make. I especially was concerned that after my questioning yesterday, I left the hearing room and you chose to come back after a break and raise with the judge a point that I had asked her about, and which I frankly think was misrepresenting my position and what the facts are with regard to whether the judge has accused President George W. Bush and Donald Rumsfeld of war crimes. My language was, I asked her whether she'd called them a war criminal, and she said under oath to you, no, I did not, although the record is plain as it can be that she accused them of war crimes. Now, I don't understand the difference between calling somebody a war criminal and accusing them of war crimes. Maybe in some other foreign language that I don't frankly understand, maybe that would make sense, but not in accordance with a common understanding of the English language. So I just don't, I just want to lodge a protest and say that I don't think it's appropriate for the chairman, after every time somebody on this side of the aisle asks questions of the judge, you come back and you denigrate and you attack and you criticize the line of questioning. I think the judge is doing a pretty good job of defending her own position and answering questions. So thank you for giving me a chance to express my objection to the way that you've been editorializing after each time this side of the aisle asks questions.
Thanks, Senator
Mr. Chairman.
Excuse me.
Chairman.
Excuse me. Thanks, Senator Cornyn. It's known as chairman's time.
Could I make my statement first?
You want to make your statement?
Yeah.
Well, may I respond to what Senator Cornyn said?
Well, if you want to speak before you're a
May I?
ranking member.
Thank you.
Tyler, you're right.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with Senator Cornyn. You and I have talked about this before. I have great respect for you. You know that. But I've had the same issue in normal hearings, non-Supreme Court hearings, where you make editorial comments after I question. I appreciate your input, but they're not offered in an even-handed way. And I just don't think it's productive. I mean, you just referred by name to Senator Hawley. I think he should have a chance to respond. You know, this is America. We have the right to express ourselves. You know, you're not free if you can't say what you think. And I want to join my colleague, Senator Cornyn. I just don't think it's appropriate, Mr. Chairman.
It's called chairman's time. It is a tradition in this committee exercised by Senator Lindsey Graham as chairman and Senator Grassley in previous Supreme Court.
But they didn't do it the way you do it,
I'm
Mr.
going
Chairman.
to allow you to be heard, but I want to be heard
Of course.
without interruption.
Of course.
And so in the minority, we waited through chairman's time. When we had Republican chairs, there will not be a separate set of rules for Democrats in control of this committee. That was used as a response time and again by both of those senators, and it was accepted. If what I said was somehow problematic or painful yesterday, I'm sorry, but the Democrats are going to use the same mechanisms that the Republicans have used in this committee.
And I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. But I think if you're going to personalize it as to senators by name, you ought to give them a chance to respond.
Well, they will have a chance.
Mr. Chairman?
Each and every senator has 20 minutes today to respond if they wish.
Mr. Chairman?
Who's seeking? Senator Ossoff.
Could we hear from Ranking Member Grassley, and then I'd like the opportunity to ask questions on behalf of the state of Georgia. I think the American public is now tuning into these proceedings expecting a substantive discussion of matters of grave importance to the country with a nominee for the Supreme Court before us. I don't think we set an appropriate tone by bickering over time and process at the outset of our proceedings. Every senator deserves to be heard. I would like to humbly request that Ranking Member Grassley make a statement, that I and Senator Tillis have our opportunity to question the nominee, and that then we can litigate balls and strikes from yesterday's hearing. Would that be acceptable to the committee?
I think in the name of your humility, we should do that.
Thank you.
After a 13-hour session Tuesday, the Senate Judiciary Committee was aiming for a slightly shorter round of questions in the third day of hearings. To start with, because Tuesday's hearing went so long, two members of the committee couldn't squeeze in their first round of questions, so Senator Tom Tillis and John Ossoff kicked off Wednesday's questioning. Democratic Senator Ossoff of Georgia asked Jackson about a 2019 decision on presidential power over House Democrats' effort to subpoena former White House counsel Don McGahn. He asked, "You, in an opinion that has been widely cited, made the observation that presidents are not kings. What does that mean?" Jackson responded, "The framers decided, after experiencing monarchy, tyranny, and the like, that they were going to create a government that would split the powers of a monarch in several different ways. The separation of power is crucial to liberty. It is what our country is founded on, and it's important, as consistent with my judicial mythology, for each branch to operate within their own sphere. That means for me that judges can't make law. Judges shouldn't be policymakers," she added. The senators will also meet in a closed session to discuss Jackson's FBI background investigation, a standard procedure for every Supreme Court nominee. The hearings are supposed to conclude Thursday with testimony from outside groups, such as the American Bar Association, and then hope to move Jackson to a final confirmation vote by early April. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. And if you'd like to see more of the Raw Report, please like and subscribe, and join others who like their news raw too.